Hello and welcome to the tutorial on how to create a Word document in Microsoft Word in APA format. The first thing that you need to do is go to the annotated paper that is in the APA format of doc sharing. Once you have opened this, you can see we are going to create a mirror image of this document so that you will be able to see exactly how to do that. The first thing that you will need to do is to make sure that your font is in Times New Roman and that it is 12-point font. You also will want to make sure that in your paragraph tab, you go to make sure that it is 2.0 for double spaced and that you do not have any spaces that are added before or after each paragraph. Once you have done those steps, you are ready to begin. You will need to do center and then tab down about 5 to 6 spaces. Just as you see in the template, we are going to start with our title page. The title page is not bold and it doesn't have any fancy fonts or logos on there. So creating success APA sample. And you will put your name. We're going to pretend like I'm Susan Smith. And Chamberlain College of Nursing. And then you will put the title of your course. And then also the year and month. Again, whatever year it is. So then you will hit enter. Now the next thing you're going to do is go to the insert button and you are going to hit page break. This is very important because you want to make sure that your pages are on the start or the top of the page, and this will be very important when you put your headers and footers in and if you have to add anything or make corrections. So in between those things that need to be on the top of a page, you want to make sure you hit a page break instead of tabbing down. So if we go over to our annotated paper, we're going to scroll down to see what our next step is. So the next step would be to put your title. Again, your title should not be bold and should be exactly what it was at the beginning of the thing. So this would be creating success APA sample. And then you would hit return. Now in this section, you want to make sure that you have your outline. I always like to put my first and second headers in there first before I start typing anything. It allows me to do two things. It allows me to look at what my outline and the content based on the grading rubrics as well as the information that should be on the paper based on the instructions and the directions. Having both of those things on there and making sure that all the information is needed on there is very helpful so you don't miss important information that is supposed to be there. So I go ahead and always write those in first and then fill in the information later. So I'm going to go ahead and add my first and second level headings. Now the headings for first and second level are bolded. So we are going to, the first one is Control B, or you can then also have it appear in the B column, and it is preparing to write. And then the next one is successful writing. And this is a second level heading that we're going to go to next. So that one is, I'm going to go flushed left for second level heading, supporting ideas. Okay, the next one is APA basics. And then again, the conclusion, which will be centered. Now, as you see that these are bold and these are first level headings, are prepared to write successful writing, then supporting ideas, APA basics, and then again, your conclusion. Now, the next thing that I want to add is I want to add another page break. Insert, page break, and then here is where I'm going to add the term references. References are not in bold, so again I want to make sure that my bold is turned off. and then I'm going to add references. And then this is where I will add my reference section. Now, as I move up, I am going to go in and add my headers. Remember that your headers are different than your headings. This is a very important concept to have. So I usually like to start on my title page again, and we're going to go to Insert, and then you will go over to Headers, and you insert Header. And you want to insert blank. Now, this is grayed out, the main portion, so there's a couple things you want to do now that you have your header menu open. You want a different first page than the rest of the page because that is what is required for APA format. And you're going to hit the page number and you're going to do top of the page, and you're going to go all the way to the right. Again, there should be nothing fancy, no underline, bold, nothing here. Once you put that in, you're going to type, the first page is running head, and then in all caps, creating success. And you're going to tab 1, 2, and you will see that's flush left. And that is your title page, your first page heading. Now, if you want to close that, you can do one of two things. You can close it here, or you can just click on the main body. So now we're going to go down to page 2 on both of these documents so that you will be able to see. So on the second and subsequent pages, there is not the term running head. It is just the page number and the word creating success. Again, this will be whatever your title is. It's a shortened version of your title. So this should be specific to your paper. So I want to get to this section, to the headings, so I'm going to just click this here, and then I'm going to again insert page number, top of page, and then all the way to the right. It already knows that it's page 2, so I don't have to insert that. And then in all caps, I'm going to write creating success. Again, this will be whatever your title, your shortened heading is, and then tab once and twice, and then it's complete. And then I'm going to just click on the main body to get out of that. And if you go down, you'll see on page 3, it again has creating success and the number 3 on there. So now I have my basic format completely set up, and now I will need to put my information in. Now it's very important, there's a couple things when you're adding information and you're doing it this way. This is where you want your introduction paper or your introduction paragraph. So this, you need to have a good introduction of your entire paper and what that is going to be. Again, when you're going to prepare to write, when you're going into there, you want to make sure that you are now flush left and that you are not bold. So when you start to write, you are not bolded, and you are going to separate the content between your first level and second level headings. Make sure that you're using APA format for in-text references. You can review either the OWL website, or you can review your APA manual for the information on this. The next thing I'd like to show you is your references. Now when you go to your references, you want to start with them being flush left, and then I'm going to just paste some references that I had in before. Now it's very important when you add your references that you have hanging indents, which means that the second and subsequent lines are indented. There are two ways that you can do this. When you've typed in all your references, you can highlight them, and you can go to this little widget in the corner where it's paragraph. And if you look under indentation, it says special, and you can go down and you can hit hanging and hit OK. And then you see your references are indented just as they should. I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to show you another way to do it, which is actually, oops, it should be double. you go to none. So say for instance, you're just where you typed it all in, you highlight it and you hit Control T, and there you go. Your indents, your hanging indents are now there. So now you have your framework for your APA paper that you started completely from scratch, and it will then eventually look like the annotated paper that you have. Another option that you can have is that you can use the template that is put in the doc sharing. So again, this is in the APA file of doc sharing, and you're going to customize this to your paper. So if we're going to use the same template that we used last time, we are going to go in and we're going to write the title of our paper. In this case, it is Creating Success APA Sample, and then this will be your name. So again, Chamberlain, you will leave there, and then this will be your course number. And then, of course, your term, month, and year. So we'll just say July 2014. Now, remember, we need to change this to our title. So remember, we can just click on that, double click, and then we're just going to change this part because the running head should be correct. It should be in all caps. So Creating Success, and then tab, and then we're going to close the header and footer, so that will come here. And then we'll need to go through and remember that the first page is different than the rest. So we're going to click back on this, and we're going to again say Creating Success, and click on the main body of your paper. And again, this will get here, and then we can fill in some of these areas as well. You might just want to delete all this and put in your own, but this gives you a good idea of what the spacing will look like. So again, this is our title, and this is our title in just regular font, no bold. And then our level 1 heading in our paper would be Preparing to Write. And then we would continue to go down as we would. Now, obviously, if you're going to use the template, you need to take this out and then type your own sentences here and continue on. Again, when you come down to the references, you're going to take this centered, not bold out, because it should not be centered or bold. It should be there. It looks like you will have to change each one of the headings. Then double click, and then again you will delete this, and then say for instance you want to put back your reference section, and then you're going to highlight and Control T, and there would be your references for your paper. I hope that this tutorial has helped you figure out how to either use the template or to create a APA paper on your own, starting from scratch. Again, if you have any questions, the best resources is your APA manual and also the OWL resource that is online, and you are able to look at all of this information is also in your APA resources in doc sharing. Thank you.